Welcome, Red Knight.
Your spirit will hate her, the flower who married my brother, the traitor, and you will expose his puppet behavior, for you are the proof of how we betrayed her loyalty. Hush, child, the darkness will rise from the deep and carry you down into sleep. Child, the darkness will rise from the deep and carry you down into sleep. Guileless son, each day you grow older, each moment I'm watching my vengeance unfold. For the child of my body, the flesh of my soul will die in returning the birthright he stole. The darkness will rise from the deep and carry you down to sleep. Child, the darkness will rise from the deep and carry you down to
Good evening and good to see ya. Here we are for this terrific Tuesday. We are going to get to a Lovecraft tale, 2 black bottles to start. It's been a while since our last full-length Lovecraft tale, so let us enjoy that. I was going to show all the hunt captures today from the event so far, the last 2 or 3 weeks, but since Twitch drops are coming in 10 days, it's probably a bit better to stream them and show them and take our time with them and fully enjoy them and appreciate them during the Twitch drops themselves. Even though I'm not earning the Twitch drop for me personally, I'll just do that at night or so. Between streams, it'll still just be a better time to show the captures, generally speaking. So that's probably what we'll do. Save some time for that, have some more captures. I just transferred hard drives, so I'll have some more room for them. But tonight, we could get back to some Darkest Dungeons, some Baldur's Gate, some Red Dead, maybe some Chivalry 2 here to begin. Hope you enjoyed a few minutes of Zombie Army 4, that last little chapter where we left off. That was a fun, brief time of it. For our Lovecraft tale tonight, we are looking pretty good for that. And it has been a good while since we read one, so I think we're in pretty good shape for that. And yep, that's about it. So let us prepare. Yeah, pretty much got everything ready for that. Look forward to chat with you soon. We'll just have open mic for now, same as we did last night. Headphones as soon as we get to our first adventure, but good to be back to a good full main show. So we did not get really a big stream since sub Saturday. Here we are on Terrific Tuesday, one of my favorite days of the week to stream for our themes and such. So if we take a look here, see what we've got, and get started. For 2 black bottles and other good fun things right here in the roost. Alright, let us see. Talk with you soon. The rest will come in its right time and place. Here at the 6-minute mark we will begin with 2 black bottles by Wilfred Blanche Talman with H.P. Lovecraft. Quick voice mod demonstration before we begin.
Yes, good.
Good. Alright. Voice mod stickers, avatars, and champion commands are ready and to be used at your pleasure. For now, I think we have all we need, and we can begin. Yep, 2 black bottles, looking lovely. No Teletubbies needed here. Say hi to a couple old friends. And let us begin. Okay, 2 black bottles. Not all of the few remaining inhabitants of Dal Bergen, that dismal little village in the Ramapo Mountains, believe that my uncle, old Domini Vanderhoof, is really dead. Some of them believe he is suspended somewhere between heaven and hell because of the old sexton's curse. If it had not been for that old magician, he might still be preaching in the little damp church across the moor. After what has happened to me in Dal Bergin, I can almost share the opinion of the villagers. I am not sure that my uncle is dead, but I am very sure that he is not alive upon this earth. There is no doubt that the old sexton buried him once, but he is not in the grave now. I can almost feel him behind me as I write, impelling me to tell the truth about those strange happenings in Dal Bergin so many years ago. It was the 4th day of October when I arrived at Dal Bergin, in answer to a summons. The letter was from a former member of my uncle's congregation, who wrote that the old man had passed away, and that there should be some small estate which I, as his only living relative, might inherit. Having reached the secluded little hamlet by a varying series of changes on branch railways, I found my way to the grocery store of Mark Haynes, writer of the letter, and he, leading me into a stuffy back room, told me a peculiar tale concerning Domini Vanderhoof's death. "You should be careful, Hoffman," Haynes told me, "when you meet that old sexton, Abel Foster. He's in league with the devil, sure as you're alive. 'Twa'n't 2 weeks ago Sam Pryor, when he passed the old graveyard, heard him mumbling the dead there. 'Twa'n't right he should talk that way, and Sam does vow that there was a voice answered him, a kind of half-voice, hollowed and muffled like, as though it come out of the ground. There's others, too, as could tell ye about seeing him standing afore old Dominie Slot's grave, that one right agin the church wall, a wringing his hands and a talking to the moss on the tombstones as though it was the old Dominie himself. Old Foster, Haynes said, had come to Dalbergen about 10 years before, and had been immediately engaged by Vanderhoof to take care of the damp stone church at which most of the villagers worshipped. No one but Vanderhoof seemed to like him, for his presence brought a suggestion almost of the uncanny. He would sometimes stand by the door when the people came to church, and the men would coldly return his servile bow, while the women brushed past in haste, holding their skirts aside to avoid touching him. He could be seen on weekdays cutting the grass in the cemetery and tending the flowers around the graves, now and then crooning and muttering to himself. And few failed to notice the particular attention he paid to the grave of the Reverend Gillam Slot, first pastor of the church in 1701. It was not long after Foster's establishment as a village fixture that disaster began to lower. First came the failure of the mountain mine where most of the men worked. The vein of iron had given out, and many of the people moved away to better localities, while those who had large holdings of land in the vicinity took to farming and managed to wrest a meager living from the rocky hillsides. Then came the disturbances in the church. It was whispered about that the Reverend Johannes Vanderhoof had made a compact with the devil and was preaching his word in the house of God. His sermons had become weird and grotesque, redolent with sinister things which the ignorant people of Dalbergen did not understand. He transported them back over ages of fear and superstition to regions of hideous, unseen spirits, and peopled their fancy with night-haunting ghouls. One by one, the congregation dwindled, while the elders and deacons vainly pleaded with Vanderhoof to change the subject of his sermons. Though the old man continually promised to comply, he seemed to be enthralled by some higher power which forced him to do its will. A giant in stature, Johannes Vanderhoof was known to be weak and timid at heart. Yet even when threatened with expulsion, he continued his eerie sermons until scarcely a handful of people remained to listen to him on Sunday morning. Because of weak finances, it was found impossible to call a new pastor, and before long, not one of the villagers dared venture near the church or the parsonage which adjoined it. Everywhere there was fear of those spectral wraiths with whom Vanderhoof was apparently in league. My uncle, Mark Haynes, told me, had continued to live in the parsonage because there was no one with sufficient courage to tell him to move out of it. No one ever saw him again, but lights were visible in the parsonage at night, and were even glimpsed in the church from time to time. It was whispered about the town that Vanderhoof preached regularly in the church every Sunday morning, unaware that his congregation was no longer there to listen. He had only the old sexton, who lived in the basement of the church, to take care of him. And Foster made a weekly visit to what remained of the business section of the village to buy provisions. He no longer bowed servilely to everyone he met, but instead seemed to harbor a demonic and ill-concealed hatred. He spoke to no one except as was necessary to make his purchases, and glanced from left to right out of evil-filled eyes as he walked the street with his cane, tapping the uneven pavement. Bent and shriveled with extreme age, his presence could actually be felt by anyone near him. So powerful was that personality which, said the townspeople, had made Vanderhoof accept the devil as his master. No person in Dalbriggan doubted that Abel Foster was at the bottom of all the town's ill luck. But not a one dared lift a finger against him, or could even approach him without a tremor of fear. His name, as well as Vanderhoof's, was never mentioned aloud. Whenever the matter of the church across the moor was discussed, it was in whispers, and if the conversation chanced to be nocturnal, the whisperers would keep glancing over their shoulders to make sure that nothing shapeless or sinister crept out of the darkness to bear witness to their words. The churchyard continued to be kept just as green and beautiful as when the church was in use, and the flowers near the graves in the cemetery were tended just as carefully as in times gone by. The old sexton could occasionally be seen working there, as if still being paid for his services, and those who dared venture near said that he maintained a continual conversation with the devil, and with those spirits which lurked within the graveyard walls. One morning, Haynes went on to say, Foster was seen digging a grave where the steeple of the church throws its shadow in the afternoon. Before the sun goes down behind the mountain and puts the entire village in semi-twilight. Later, the church bell, silent for months, tolled solemnly for a half hour. And at sundown, those who were watching from a distance saw Foster bring a coffin from the parsonage on a wheelbarrow, dump it into the grave with slender ceremony, and replace the earth in the hole. The sexton came to the village the next morning, ahead of his usual weekly schedule, and in much better spirits than was customary. He seemed willing to talk, remarking that Vanderhoof had died the day before, and that he had buried his body beside that of Dominie Slot near the church wall. He smiled from time to time and rubbed his hands in an untimely and unaccountable glee. It was apparent that he took a perverse and diabolic delight in Vanderhoof's death. The villagers were conscious of an added uncanniness in their presence, and avoided him as much as they could. With Vanderhoof gone, they felt more insecure than ever, for the old sexton was now free to cast his worst spells over the town from the church across the moor. Muttering something in a tongue which no one understood, Foster made his way back along the road over the swamp. It was then, it seems, that Mark Haynes remembered having heard Dominie Vanderhoof speak of me as his nephew. Haynes accordingly sent to me, in the hope that I might know something which would clear up the mystery of my uncle's last years. I assured my summoner, however, that I knew nothing about my uncle or his past, except that my mother had mentioned him as a man of gigantic physique, but with little courage or power of will. Having heard all that Haynes had to tell me, I lowered the front legs of my chair to the floor and looked at my watch. It was late afternoon. "How far is it out to that church?" I inquired. "Think I can make it before sunset?" "Sure, laddie. Why ain't you going out there tonight?" "Not to that place." The old man trembled noticeably in every limb and half rose from his chair, stretching out a lean, detaining hand. "Why, it's plumb foolishness," he exclaimed. I laughed aside his fears and informed him that, Come what may, I was determined to see the old sexton that evening and get the whole matter over as soon as possible. I did not intend to accept the superstitions of ignorant country folks as truth, for I was convinced that all I had just heard was merely a chain of events, which the over-imaginative people of Dalbergin had happened to link with their ill luck. I felt no sense of fear or horror whatever. Seeing that I was determined to reach my uncle's house before nightfall, Haynes ushered me out of his office and reluctantly gave me the few required directions. Pleading from time to time that I change my mind. He shook my hand when I left, as though he never expected to see me again. "Take care of that old devil, Foster, don't get ye," he warned again and again. "I wouldn't go near him after dark for love nor money. No siree." He re-entered his store, solemnly shaking his head, while I set out along a road leading to the outskirts of the town. I had walked barely 2 minutes before I sighted the moor of which Haynes had spoken. The road, flanked by a whitewashed fence, passed over the great swamp, which was overgrown with clumps of underbrush, dipping down into the dark, dank, slimy ooze. An odor of deadness and decay filled the air, and even in the sunlit afternoon little wisps of vapor could be seen rising from the unhealthful spot. On the opposite side of the moor, I turned sharply to the left, as I had been directed, branching from the main road. There were several houses in the vicinity, I noticed, houses which were scarcely more than huts, reflecting the extreme poverty of their owners. The road here passed under the drooping branches of enormous willows, which almost completely shut out the rays of the sun. The miasmal odor of the swamp was still in my nostrils, and the air was damp and chilly. I hurried my pace to get out of that dismal tunnel as soon as possible. Presently I found myself in the light again. The sun, now hanging like a red ball upon the crest of the mountain, was beginning to dip low, and there, some distance ahead of me, bathed in its bloody iridescence, stood the lonely church. I began to sense that uncanniness which Haynes had mentioned, that feeling of dread which made all Dalbergin shun the place. The squat, stone hulk of the church itself, with its blunt steeple, seemed like an idol to which the tombstones that surrounded it bowed down and worshipped, each with an arched top like the shoulders of a kneeling person, while over the whole assemblage the dingy, gray parsonage hovered like a wraith. I had slowed my pace a trifle as I took in the scene. The sun was disappearing behind the mountain very rapidly now, and the damp air chilled me. Turning my coat collar up about my neck, I plodded on. Something caught my eye as I glanced up again. In the shadow of the church wall was something white, a thing which seemed to have no definite shape. Straining my eyes as I came nearer, I saw that it was a cross of new timber, surmounting a mound of freshly turned earth. The discovery sent a new chill through me. I realized that this must be my uncle's grave, but something told me that it was not like the other graves near it. It did not seem like a dead grave. In some intangible way it appeared to be living, if a grave can be said to live. Very close to it, I saw as I came near, was another grave, an old mound with a crumbling stone about it. Dominie Slot's tomb, I thought, remembering Haynes's story. There was no sign of life anywhere about that place. In the semi-twilight, I climbed the low knoll upon which the parsonage stood and hammered upon the door. There was no answer. I skirted the house and peered into the windows. The whole place seemed deserted. The lowering mountains had made night fall with disarming suddenness the minute the sun was fully hidden. The sun was fully hidden. I realized that I could see scarcely more than a few feet ahead of me. Feeling my way carefully, I rounded a corner of the house and paused, wondering what to do next. Everything was quiet. There was not a breath of wind, nor were there even the usual noises made by animals in their nocturnal ramblings. All dread had been forgotten for a time, but in the presence of that sepulchral calm, my apprehensions returned. I imagine the air people with ghastly spirits that pressed around me, making the air almost unbreathable. I wondered, for the 100th time, where the old sexton might be. As I stood there, half expecting some sinister demon to creep from the shadows, I noticed two lighted windows glaring from the belfry of the church. I then remembered that Haynes had told me about Fosters living in the basement of the building. Advancing cautiously through the blackness, I found a side door of the church ajar. The interior had a musty and mildewed odor. Everything I touched was covered with a cold, clammy moisture. I struck a match and began to explore, to discover, if I could, how to get into the belfry. Suddenly, I stopped in my tracks. A snatch of song, loud and obscene, sung in a voice that was guttural and thick with drink, came from above me. The match burned my fingers, and I dropped it. 2 pinpoints of light piercing the darkness of the farther wall of the church, and below them, to one side, I could see a door outlined where light filtered through its cracks. The song stopped as abruptly as it had commenced, and there was absolute silence again. My heart was thumping and blood racing through my temples. Had I not been petrified with fear, I should have fled immediately. Not caring to light another match, I felt my way among the pews until I stood in front of the door. So deep was the feeling of depression which had come over me that I felt as though I were acting in a dream. My actions were almost involuntary. The door was locked, as I found when I turned the knob. I hammered upon it for some time, but there was no answer. The silence was as complete as before. Feeling around the edge of the door, I found the hinges, removed the pins from them, and allowed the door to fall toward me. Dim light flooded down a steep flight of steps. There was a sickening odor of whiskey. I could now hear someone stirring in the belfry room above, venturing a low halloo. I thought I heard a groan in reply and cautiously climbed the stairs. My first glance into that unhallowed place was indeed startling. Strewn about the little room were old and dusty books and manuscripts, strange things that bespoke almost unbelievable age. On rows of shelves which reached to the ceiling were horrible things in glass jars and bottles, snakes and lizards and bats. Dust and mold and cobwebs encrusted everything. In the center, behind a table upon which was a lighted candle, a nearly empty bottle of whiskey, and a glass, was a motionless figure with a thin, scrawny, wrinkled face and wild eyes that stared blankly through me. I recognized Abel Foster, the old sexton, in an instant. He did not move or speak as I came slowly and fearfully toward him. We were here. Yeah. He did not move or speak as I came slowly and fearfully toward him, right? No. Venturing a low halloo, I thought I heard a groan in reply and cautiously climbed the stairs. Was that it? Yeah, that must have been it, right? I could now hear someone stirring in the belfry room above. Venturing a low halloo, I thought I heard a groan in reply and cautiously climbed the stairs. My first glance into that unhallowed place was indeed startling. Strewn about the little room were old and dusty books, unbelievable age. Okay. I recognized Abel Foster, the old sexton. In an instant, he did not move or speak as I came slowly and fearfully toward him. "Mr. Foster?" I asked, trembling with unaccountable fear when I heard my voice echo within the close confines of the room. There was no reply, and no movement from the figure behind the table. I wondered if he had not drunk himself to insensibility, and went behind the table to shake him. As the mere touch of my arm upon his shoulder, the strange old man started from his chair as though terrified. His eyes, still having in them that same blank stare, were fixed upon me. Swinging his arms like flails, he backed away. "Don't!" he screamed. "Don't touch me! Go back! Go back!" I saw that he was both drunk and struck with some kind of a nameless terror. Using a soothing tone, I told him who I was and why I had come. He seemed to understand vaguely and sank back into his chair, sitting limp and motionless. "I thought ye was him," he mumbled. "I thought ye was him come back for it. He's been a-tryin' to get out, since I put him in there." His voice again rose to a scream and he clutched his chair. "Maybe he's got out now. Maybe he's out." I looked about, half expecting to see some spectral shape coming up the stairs. "Maybe who's out?" I inquired. "Vanderhoof!" he shrieked. "The cross over his grave keeps falling down in the night. Every morning the earth is loose and gets harder to pat down. He'll come out and I won't be able to do nothing." Forcing him back into the chair, I seated myself on a box near him. He was trembling in mortal terror, with the saliva dripping from the corners of his mouth. From time to time, I felt that sense of horror, which Haynes had described when he told me of the old sexton. Truly, there was something uncanny about the man. His head had now sunk forward upon his breast, and he seemed calmer, mumbling to himself. Alright, Firebot, we will wake up in a little bit. Oh no, it's not waking, but... Okay, mumbling to himself. I quietly arose and opened a window to let out the fumes of whiskey and the musty odor of dead things. Light from a dim moon, just arisen, made objects below barely visible. I could just see Dominie Vanderhoof's grave from my position in the belfry, and blinked my eyes as I gazed at it. That cross was tilted. I remembered that it had been vertical an hour ago. Fear took possession of me again. I turned quickly. Foster sat in his chair watching me. His glance was saner than before. "So, you're Vanderhoof's nephew," he mumbled in a nasal tone. "Wow, you might as well know it all. He'll be back arter me before long. He will. Just as soon as he can get out of that there grave. You might as well know all about it now." His terror appeared to leave him. He seemed resigned to some horrible fate which he expected any minute. His head dropped down upon his chest again, and he went on muttering in that nasal monotone. "You see all them there books and papers? Well, they was once Dominie Slot, who was here years ago. All them things has got to do with magic, black magic that the old Dominie knew afore he come to this country. They used to burn him and boil him in oil for knowing that over there, they did." Give me They used to burn him and boil him in oil for knowing that over there they did. But old Slot knew, and he didn't go for it. Tell nobody. No, sir. Old Slot used to preach here generations ago, and he used to come up here and study them books and use all them dead things in jars and pronounce magic curses and things, but he didn't let nobody know it. No. Nobody knowed it but Dominie Slot and me. "You?" I ejaculated, leaning across the table toward him. "That is, me after I learned it." His face showed lines of trickery as he answered me. "I found all this stuff here when I come to be church sexton, and I used to read it when I wasn't at work, and I soon got to know all about it." The old man droned on, while I listened spellbound. He told me about learning the difficult formulae of demonology, so that, by means of incantations, he could cast spells over human beings. He had performed horrible occult rites of his hellish creed, calling down anathema upon the town and its inhabitants. Crazed by his desires, he tried to bring the church under his spell, but the power of God was too strong. Finding Johannes Vanderhoof very weak-willed, He bewitched him so that he preached strange and mystic sermons, which struck fear into the simple hearts of the country folk. From his position in the belfry room, he said, behind a painting of the Temptation of Christ, which adorned the rear wall of the church, he would glare at Vanderhoof while he was preaching, through holes which were in the eyes of the devil in the picture. Terrified by the uncanny things which were happening in their midst, the congregation left one by one, and Foster was able to do what he pleased with the church and with Vanderhoof. What did you do with him? I asked in a hollow voice as the old sexton paused in his confession. He burst into a cackle of laughter, throwing back his head in drunken glee. I took his soul, he howled in a tone that set me trembling. I took his soul and put it in a bottle, in a little black bottle, and I buried him. But he ain't got his soul, and he can't go neither to heaven nor hell. But he's a-comin' back after it. He's a-tryin' to get out of his grave now. I can hear him pushing his way up through the ground. He's that strong. As the old man had proceeded with his story, I had become more and more convinced that he must be telling me the truth, and not merely gibbering in drunkenness. Every detail fitted what Haynes had told me. Fear was growing upon me by degrees, with the old wizard now shouting and with demonic laughter. I was tempted to bolt down the narrow stairway and leave that accursed neighborhood. To calm myself, I rose and again looked out the window. My eyes nearly started from their sockets when I saw that the cross above Vanderhoof's grave had fallen perceptibly since I had last looked at it. It was now tilted to an angle of 45 degrees. Can't we dig up Vanderhoof and restore his soul? I asked almost breathlessly, feeling that something must be done in a hurry. The old man rose from his chair in terror. No, 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 he screamed. He'd kill me. I forgot the formula, and if he gets out, he'll be alive. Without a soul, he'd kill us both. Where is the bottle that contains his soul? I asked, advancing threateningly toward him. I felt that some ghastly thing was about to happen, which I must do all in my power to prevent. I won't tell you, you young whelp, he snarled. I felt rather than saw a queer light in his eyes as he backed into a corner. And don't you touch me either, or you'll wish you hadn't. I moved a step forward, noticing that on a low stool behind him there were 2 black bottles. Foster muttered some peculiar words in a low, sing-song voice. Everything began to turn gray before my eyes, and something within me seemed to be dragged upward, trying to get out at my throat. I felt my knees become weak. Lurching forward, I caught the old sexton by the throat, and with my free arm reached for the bottles on the stool. But the old man fell backward, striking the stool with his foot, and one bottle fell to the floor as I snatched the other. There was a flash of blue flame, and a sulphurous smell filled the room. From the little heap of broken glass, a white vapor rose and followed the draft out the window. "Curse ye, you rascal!" sounded a voice that seemed faint and far away. Foster, whom I had released when the bottle broke, was crouching against the wall, looking smaller and more shriveled than before. His face was slowly turning greenish-black. "Curse ye," said the voice again, hardly sounding as though it came from his lips. "I'm done for. That one in there was mine. Dominie Slot took it out 200 years ago." He slid slowly toward the floor, gazing at me with hatred in eyes that were rapidly dimming. His flesh changed from white to black, and then to yellow. I saw with horror that his body seemed to be crumbling away and his clothing falling into limp folds. The bottle in my hand was growing warm. I glanced at it fearfully. It glowed with a faint phosphorescence. Stiff with fright, I set it upon the table, but could not keep my eyes from it. There was an ominous moment of silence as its glow became brighter, and then there came distinctly to my ears the sound of sliding earth. Gasping for breath, I looked out of the window. The moon was now well up in the sky, and by its light I could see that the fresh cross above Vanderhoof's grave had completely fallen. Once again there came the sound of trickling gravel, and no longer able to control myself, I stumbled down the stairs and found my way out of doors. Falling now and then as I raced over the uneven ground, I ran on in an abject terror. When I had reached the foot of the knoll and the entrance to that gloomy tunnel beneath the willows, I heard a horrible roar behind me. Turning, I glanced back toward the church. Its wall reflected the light of the moon, and silhouetted against was a gigantic, loathsome black shadow, climbing from my uncle's grave and floundering gruesomely toward the church. I told my story to a group of villagers in Haynes's store the next morning. They looked from one to the other with little smiles during my tale. I noticed, but when I suggested that they accompany me to the spot, gave various excuses for not caring to go, though there seemed to be a limit to their credulity. They cared to run no risks. I informed them that I would go alone, though I must confess that the project did not appeal to me. As I left the store, one old man with a long white beard hurried after me and caught my arm. "I'll go with ye, lad," he said. "It do seem that I once heard my grandpap tell o' something of the sort concerning old Dominie Slot. A queer old man I've heard he were, but Vanderhoof's been worse." Dominie Vanderhoof's grave was open and deserted when we arrived. Of course it could have been grave robbers, the two of us agreed, and yet, in the belfry, the bottle which I had left upon the table was gone, though the fragments of the broken one were found on the floor. And upon the heap of yellow dust and crumpled clothing that had once been Abel Foster were certain immense footprints. After glancing at some of the books and papers strewn about the belfry room, we carried them down the stairs and burned them as something unclean and unholy. With a spade which we found in the church basement, we filled in the grave of Johannes Vanderhoof, and, as an afterthought, flung the fallen cross upon the flames. Old wives say that now, when the moon is full, there walks about the churchyard a gigantic and bewildered figure, clutching a bottle and seeking some unremembered goal. Hope you enjoyed Two Black Bottles, our Lovecraft tale for the week. Quick couple adjustments to come. We'll see the next adventure very shortly. But for now, let me see. Alright. Looking good. Good to go. Alrighty. Let's take a couple adjustments before we get to stuff. We shall see. Alright, first couple things here. Little adjustments. Don't think we need too many adjustments. Just thinking of things. A couple of things, as it were. Let me check them out. Whoops. Huh. Some issues there, that's strange. Turn off the music for right now. I think we can make the thumbnail, but we can make that later. Something too, we could make it right now. Alright, well, first thing I'm gonna do, let me try again here. Quick couple adjustments. Out of their music and things, well, commands to enjoy, but it's fine.
Now you're a hero, you managed to beat the whole damn game. We're happy you made it, but how are you gonna spend the rest of this day? Maybe watch a video, maybe press refresh and start again.
Alright, quick couple of things here. Put the music back on, but not really necessary, right? I'll just take a couple of minutes here. Alright, oh, there we go. What do you know? Oh my goodness. Yeah, Twitch actually came through. I just got 50 bucks. Oh man, that'll save me a lot. Guys, when I was about to update this, I have like 10 bucks, but show the current 10 bucks, but because of Twitch now I have 50 bucks. Oh, that is nice. Whew. Bitter of a relief there. Yeah, I did transfer the other one before that, to which I would have had actually $0. I thought I had some Google Play money left over for other recent purchase, but apparently not. Because I would have had balance, yeah, it wasn't for that, like $2. So Twitch just came in though yesterday, so it wasn't for that though. Yeah, I'll still keep it up for a while until back on our feed, at least like 500 or so, but that's the lowest I currently had it. But wow, thank you to Twitch, thank you Dragon Knights and Champions, who just got me my next $50 payment from Twitch. So at least have a tank of gas. That is nice. Whew. That is actually quite nice to see. I was gonna update it, apparently have you at $2 in the account. Would have been 52.06, 50.58. So it wasn't for the 50, it would have been 58 cents. Yeah, I would have had like 58 cents, I don't know. But now we have $50, 58 cents because of Twitch, $52. Thankfully for that. Twitch came through, Dragon Knights came through for me, let's go to come home. Our concurrent Dragon Champions, let me see, we're currently actually at, I had to check this recently, but we'll just do a quick little check. Not too much frame drop, we can hope and pray. But, current champions, we're at 3 new subscribers, yeah, resub including Moog, thank you Moog for the resub. Let's see, I wanted to check here. Current champions, we are at, let's see, insights. Just to keep it transparent, honest, 8 actually, so yeah, 7 to 8. Thanks to the resub. And Grim, you are now our 8th champion, thank you Grim for being number 8. Speaking of the Reaper, we've got Grim. Anyway. Let's see what's next here. some pacify and such. But chivalry fun, whether we can get a hunt partner, crazy buddy in, or not. Why not return to some chivalry for the first time since April 30th. It's been almost 3 months. I gotta kill those stupid pussycats, whatever reclamation is. There is a new map since then that we have not seen. So I'm excited to see that. Check it out. See who this friend Pink is. Why do I have so many Teletubbies on my friend list? Other people would copy me, but at least it'd be the right link. Anyway, we don't need to talk about it. Let's move on. And we shall move on. Other people been here for a long time. Well, let's see how to load a potato in any case of the 1 hour mark. Exactly. We did a nice Lovecraft tale, 2 black bottles. It was fun. We need to edit the video if we need to. Hopefully Potato will behave himself. Let's see. Go now to the 1 hour mark. Onto chivalry and such. And we'll see if Potato can behave himself. We shall see. We shall certainly see. Hello, Potato. We are here. Alright, let's get back to chivalry. I'm playing 3 months. We gotta see that new map first of all. I'll just invite you to the squad. Yeah, raiding party. It's the newest map. So that's Tunisians against the blue pussycats. Whether they have this other reclamation coming next month. I don't know what they're adding in that. Probably another map though. Typically the content updates are new maps and other interactions. We shall see. But in any case, we'll be good for the order.
For the order!
It's gonna be good. Alright, let's take a look. That'll be fine. Raiding party, money. Funny stealing their money there. Let's check it out. Here we go. 1 hour mark continue. Coming on in, coming in. A terrific Tuesday that it is. Bum 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 bum. All right. First time in a couple months here. See what we've got for at least a little while. Silly Windows Defender nonsense. Alright. Potato in Chivalry 2. Rest of these guys I can invite unless they're online. Oh well. Your invite code, what is this? I actually put in the code. Oh, it's cross-platform. There is cross-platform now. Fancy. Oh well. Did you get the invite, Tita?
Yeah. There's a customization store.
Well, stop that. Alright, be good. Mason fun. Oh yeah, let's switch categories by all means. It's been almost 3 months, so good to come back to it.
There's a fucking reward at
There we go.
1,000.
What's that? Dang.
Skin.
Got the armory, of course. Good armory. Trailers. Where do you see that? Progression?
And heraldry.
Damn. That's a lot more games on Mason, as it should be, but that's funny. I have the same amount of wins and losses on Pussycats as I do Mason. Hilarious. 45 hours and 5,000 kills. Wow. That's a good amount. Guess it counts assists and all, but yeah. Alright. You can look at all that in the lobby. Potato. There we freaking go.
It's a new mode.
Mode 2?
Volley.
That's just the arch one. That is ridiculous. You don't want to play that, trust me. I have tried that. I have tried it. It's literally only longbow. It's not even different like types of archer. The gladiator voice is funny. You probably like him. Go listen to the gladiator voice. Alright, raiding party. What the heck was that? Oh, you activate the different freaking battle pass things? That's annoying.
Yeah, just bought it.
You bought it? the premium? You're joking me. Oh my goodness.
It's got like a shit ton of skins.
Wow. Anyway, I want to go to the new map. I guess we're 64. Do you want a 64 player or a mounted warrior? We do 3v3 later, but do you like the horses or not?
No.
I don't know if the new one is horses or not. I haven't been on it yet. Alright, well, yeah, Winter War is the other battle pattern. There's the other one. Campaign. You only do one at a time, so. Campaign about Tunisian Raider assault on. Freaking weird. Anyway, it's pretty silly. They had the different Tunisians before. Now they have these, like the other guys, on the main menu. I mean, all right, looking good though. Transparency inside. Lovecraft tale on to Chivalry. Might do some Diablo 2 or 3 later. You play any Diablo, Potato?
No. I was thinking about getting
Pretty good.
that, what you call it? What the fuck's that game called?
Torchlight, play back in the day. Fate, that was a good one.
Dungeon, Darkness and Dungeons, or whatever the fuck.
Darkest Dungeon.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, I've played the first one a
Pretty
lot.
cool.
I'm gonna play the second one, but I have a lot to do in the first one still. DLC inside. I haven't played in a month or so, but yeah, it's intense, but good. If you don't mind suffering on even the easiest game mode, if you don't like, I mean, you might be a little frustrated with it, but it is pretty good for what it is. Alright, we on the right team here? Yes. Join me for glory. We are on 30 versus 30, Pluto. Let's see how it goes here. Oh boy, it's a little laggy.
It's only good if you want to get really good at fighting multiple people at the same time.
Well, I switched my
I found
mouse wheel buttons, so that's good.
the best game mode in Chivalry is
I used to play the last team standing a lot. I played like the original show, and then we had a lot of custom games and custom maps. That was pretty fun.
3 is just like this. Just less people.
Well, it's, yeah, less. More. I had a lot of ping in any case, so let me try to level that out first of all.
Yeah, last team standing was really good.
Look at my ping. You missed the good wolf guy. He's funny. I'm behind you, Potato. Yeah, destroy that damn banner. There's an archer behind. Freaking javelin. Oh, I got his head cut off. Good. Gotta kill the damn archer. Archers have priority for the blade. That did not work out at all. I'm having a feeling it's because I have 300 ping. Just a hunch. Just a hunch.
Where you had at?
It usually levels out. It's really not that noticeable that much. I played a couple times off stream. It wasn't much better, so. There we freaking go. There we freaking go. Gosh dang, I am bubbling all over the place right now. Can't freaking move right now. It's ridiculous. Is this West? What is this? This is West. I can't believe it. Why is it that bad? Maybe this recent patch. Internet can't handle it, apparently. I don't think it's because you're broadcasting on the Discord. I'm not even watching. So that shouldn't matter. Well, you're not. More than 68 ping.
I can't.
There we freaking go.
Undead and woodlands.
There's a lot coming.
Enemies at a rear.
Yeah, Dark Force. Funny. Got your back, potato. If I'm burning to death, okay.
I'll be atop you for a moonlight ride.
Frick, can my latency level out or what? You pushing that guy there. It's funny. The tackle is really hard to do in my experience. What is up with this server? Damn. And we did 1v1 for fun before? I've done it a few times this game, but remember we did Mordhau stream. Could have sworn we would have done it here too. I've done it with a couple friends. I don't remember. People I'm not even friends with anymore. There we go. Just have to distract him. 772. It's finally half of what it was, so at least it's moving in the right direction. How do you tackle people? It's so hard.
How do you what?
Tackle when you're running and then there's the tackle button. Like I've tried it. Like I know how you do it. It's like how do you actually connect it though?
You gotta hit them when they're not blocking.
It's like really weird range to it though.
Release the beast.
Right.
Saddle is mine with this sword.
Good.
I will tear out your heart and eat it while you watch.
Oh my god. Yeah, the lag is definitely not helping this time. People have 8 ping in here. I have 400. It's usually not this bad though. Did I turn my Wi-Fi back on? Maybe that. No, I didn't. It has nothing to do with my Wi-Fi or anything. Obviously, I'm not doing any background downloads, so why in the heck is my 15 megabytes not cooperating? It's not like I even do that much better. Without that much ping, it's just less annoying. Reason why I retired Hunt from Lane Show too. This very reason. What sword I'm using. I cannot move though, this is ridiculous. Oh man, I can't turn off stream for this though. Why? Why? Maybe I should restart. Can you turn off your broadcast just in case that's somehow affecting you? You realize no one's watching that. Thank you. That might help. I don't think it's gonna help, but it's worth a freaking shot at this point. Yeah, pretty insane. Yeah. It's hard to do. Oh, 500 now. Okay. That's great.
You're about to go fucking China.
Echoings. What'd you say?
You're about to fly to China with that thing.
Oh yeah, exactly. Why do I hear you twice now? You have an echo.
Good question.
Gosh. I hear you twice, yeah. There's no in-game voice chat, is there? Yeah, whatever reason you turn off the broadcast, now I hear you echoing twice. Very strange.
Only cowards!
Can you fix it or something? Maybe it's Discord. Honestly, maybe it is Discord. Let me try to disconnect and see if it's better, because maybe you just can't handle the bandwidth. Alright, I can just type to him if that's the case, but this is so unplayable. You see me not able to connect anything. It is so bad. So bad. I don't know if it's Discord or what. I feel like I still hear him. Do you still hear me play in the game? Nah. Gotta get the chicken. Oh my goodness. How is it this bad? It's never been this bad on streams, unless they did something this patch that totally screwed it. I don't know why they would do that. Possible. Just can't move or anything, but it's really, really bad. Alright, it's not Discord, so I'll rejoin him. Yep, Discord made no difference. I'll try starting my game or something, but 500 ping. You do not want to fight like this. It has never had this issue before, so I can't imagine they just make it so unoptimized from the recent patch. It's like they changed the game that substantially.
This is what you get!
Really don't understand. It's my internet, I know, but... I healed him as he died, okay.
Down with Argon!
There goes my weapon, that's not good. Could have a shield, but I still need a freaking sword to back it up. Get the arrow, that'd be nice. Cannot move, potato. Goodness. Alright, let me come back then. This is ridiculous. In the extreme. It's never been that bad though. There's gotta be something. Let me figure it out. There's got to be a reason. It is absolutely terrible. If I planned 15 download before, it is fine. So why is it having trouble now? Oh wait, Pink wants to play, so I'll invite her. I don't even know. I really don't know what is going on. Just so horrible. Pink. Just, yeah, only since this patch, I'm playing 2 months. What could cause it? Hello, Pinky. How's it going? Beating DBD. Alright, didn't we play that together before? Terraria, but... Trying to remember where we met. It's been a long time in any case. Good to see you. Yeah, it's a fun time. Potato, their hunt partner, but having some latency issues, so can fix that. Actually play properly. That would be better. Yeah, we were playing Hunt today, and then we played a couple rounds of DBD because I played a few months, and it did not go well, of course. Another reason I quit that game. Alright. Oh yeah. Didn't you play DBD before that? Hmm.
I had
Okay.
Well,
Right.
that's how we met.
It's just, yeah, a very slow amount of Wi-Fi to begin with, so usually can only do one thing at a time, so I will try to make do. See if we can rejoin you in progress, Potato, or do you just want to join us in lobby again? I don't know, if we can join you, like, or if you can join without leaving. Oh well. Yeah, try to get back to it. We can do the 3v3, but not with this ping. I don't want to drag you guys down with that. Might as well just play the chaotic big modes. I don't really care what happens.
God, I'll carry us even if you fail.
Alright, we'll figure it out.
That'd be alright.
So, man, and I haven't played other House Pinky. It's really nice at 200 megabyte download. That was fine, but it's not something I can do on a regular basis. It's for special occasions like 1,000 stream and such. Oh well.
Oh hell yeah, we battle with Dark Force.
Let's do it.
Yeah, we were just Dark Forest, and then we try to reconvene, fix the ping, but if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I saw Pinky on the side. The overlay is fine. Yeah, you should join us for some fun. It's a good summer event. Finally have rain and reptile gator, like alligator. Alligator's pretty great, yeah. Horses and all.
I'm gonna change my weapon, oh my god.
I have some net issues, I guess. See, now they're already in there, and I'm not even connecting. There are definitely something going on with the interwebs. But, you know, we're just playing for fun time. I don't really care I have that much ping. It just kind of sucks. So, yeah, the only game I can really dedicate off stream for actual captures is Hunt, because I just don't have that much room on the computer to capture multiple games.
Kill this
Buy,
guy
like,
on fire, come
a
here.
whole terabyte or something extra hard drive when it makes sense.
Fuck!
But, yeah, they got in right away. They have good internet.
Rip.
But, like, I don't know, I'm just thinking about it, like, could take screenshots at least, just enjoy it off stream, at least, you know, tell you about it. But we're not doing the full capture. It's really quite a shame to not play there. I have not connected to the server yet, so.
Oh, you're not connected yet?
Yeah. I don't know what is going on. I'm gonna restart again, I guess. But I'm always red team for this game. Nice.
Anal gang! Oh my god! I got killed by anal gang.
Can't even restart the game now. We're just looking at the main menu apparently. Alright, so I might have to in-stream just to have the latency better, but at least gonna try a bit more. If it's not even connecting in the first place, that feels like a game issue, not even like an internet issue. Which is buggy, I don't know. What is going on? It should be the same server, like wherever you don't necessarily have to be in the same squad, it's just easier. But in interest of, you know, them being entertained while they're playing
Ooh,
for the stream.
I have a throwing axe in my thing.
Very high CPU usage, if you wanna.
This guy's got a knife in his, I mean a
very high
arrow in his
usage.
neck.
That has nothing to do with it, but
I just walk behind them all and fucking smack them all in the backs.
yeah, things you can do without
Alright,
that.
carrying a giant
Ping.
fucking hammer.
A little back scratch on my two-handed hand.
That's the strategy. Alright, let me try one more time. If the ping is still unplayable in a couple maps, I'll likely turn off the stream and come back. I don't know.
Beat somebody with the
Take some screenshots or something. I just can't capture more than one game. There's gonna be so many captures to show for Hunt. If I start doing that for all these multiplayer games, every single multiplayer game, there's a reason like someone retired like DBD played 2 rounds today. No desire to show those captures even if they took one, but basically
I'm gonna put my banner up, cool.
we gotta try something else here.
Oh, I killed one
I'm really trying to decide the best way to do it. It's not working. Let's see if we can join the same freaking servers then. Oh my. Yeah, you invite them, it pulls them out of the map, so we're not gonna do that. What are these issues on? And if it gets full, I can't join. That's another sad thing about it, but maybe I can just go server browser. I'll just try to get back in there, see if the ping beta. So Discord and such, yeah, it really doesn't matter. See, I can play a little bit while they finish their map, and then get us back together. But man, 500 ping, unplayable for any multiplayer game, especially combat-based game. Maybe there's other games lag, just doesn't matter, like turn-based or something, but I'm not playing those type of games. We're playing live games, you know, not turn-based or strategy-based.
No!
It's really just a shame to play with these friends and such, but I can't. It's that much freaking pain. So what am I to do? Alright, we're still at 400. I don't know if it's this patch or what, but it is not working. Freaking personality custom. What the heck? See, even the voice lines won't load.
Oh, fire!
Stab these fellow bastards.
Have you ever wondered what's inside?
That guy's low. If I could finish him off, would be ideal. That didn't work out. We lost anyway. Alright. Frick. Try to get back. That wasn't a good one to join. That didn't work.
It's that one with the log.
And avatars moved up. What the heck? How did that happen? Hold on.
Are you still not in the server?
I tried to join a different one, and then it literally ended as soon as I joined. But I was just trying to get in anyway. So let me try to join yours now. Are you still on Dark Forest? Should be able to find it. There's east, there's west. Should be able to filter it by name. Oh god. That is rough. I think it's the amount of players that never really affected it before.
Help. Ah, no! Oh, fire!
Okay. How to join you directly now. Right click on your name maybe. Join game. Let's try that. Click, 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 click. What?
Potato, I'm coming.
I'm almost.
Ow!
Waiting for party leader. How can the. Okay, hold on.
Oh, that's me. Ow, I just hit you on accident.
I'm gonna restart.
Yeah!
Again.
Hit on.
Damn it.
How do I accept you? Oh no, I'm third person.
Oh shit.
I don't know how to undo third person. Ow. Ow. No.
Shows your weapon sensitivity and soon. It shows their weapon, what they're actually using and such. Oh my god.
He just started emoting on me and then somebody came behind him and kicked his ass.
Yeah, last time we just didn't even load in, so we can load in something. Straight to the action. Pretty damn sad. When we can't play properly. I don't think it's the amount of players. Staying rough. I've never had to not stream this because of ping. Wait, am I muted? Okay. Let me invite you guys one more time, see if we can try something else. And I'll likely turn the stream off because 500 ping, little upsetting. See if we can get this to work. Usually not the amount of players, because Hunt is way laggier, Potato, and that has 12 players. So it really doesn't matter that there's 60 players on the server or not. It's just like the engine or the intensity of what you're loading. I don't know. Enough technical terms to tell you about that. Yeah, so it's weird I could join your party while you're in the game, but I can't join the game. That didn't make sense. The original Chivalry didn't have squad feature or anything. It would just join. It would show like the friend icon, but Alright, sorry about that. We'll try one more time. And then likely turn it off because my 15 megabytes can't handle multiplayer games and broadcast is one. Who's surprised about that? Co-op multiplayer. It's just frustrating because it's just a fun time and good stuff usually, but we have all the Mason themed battle cries and channel rewards and commands, you know, battle cries and all.
If this doesn't work, we'll just try 3-3 after that.
Wait, what's happening now? I like press something and all my UI is gone now. I just see the main menu again. Oh, there we go. Yeah, actually I did do 3v3 Potato.
Oh, okay.
Because at least then I can eliminate the factor of the being players. Oh, we got the bad team, but oh well. My ping is 400. What are you talking about? Alright.
It's very quick.
We'll lose this one real quick if you guys don't mind, and I'll make it up to you by turning off stream, going back to team objective. Alright.
3, 2, 1, fight! Be warned. The last dummy I fought lost all its roar.
This stuff is hard though. Can't even move. Oh my goodness. Oh, the shield, like, that's gonna help me so much. So much. Alright, well I've confirmed it's just my internet, yeah.
3, 2, 1, fight!
And here I thought I was signing up to be a choir boy.
Yeah, we can play another of these right after if you want, but that'll take us back to the menu. Reconsolidate stuff. Oh my goodness. No movement, nothing at all.
Not happy. Mason is victorious.
Yeah, it's a little high in the ping. How do you have 0 ping? You on top of the server.
Me?
It shows
I
you
don't know.
0 ping, like literally.
Hell, this guy is
So,
Here I thought I was signing up to be a choir.
This guy is ridiculous too. Leave me alone.
yeah, it's good training for like individual combat team objective. Nice, not very good.
Is victorious.
First to 5, it'll be a quick 5, and then we can
3,
reconvene.
1, fight!
Sure.
Just so glad I did that, so that's so worth it. Absolutely worth it.
Don't touch me.
So helpful, very helpful. No touching. Fragile body.
Very fresh.
Oh man. Hilarious. Alright, I'll play with you guys properly as soon as we die one more time. Yeah, this is rough. We have experienced it, we have tried it. In the past, I've had no issues, so it must be something this patch. It's just not broadcast friendly. I don't know what it would be, but it is not good. Dodges in it. I'm just like not connecting the attack, so yeah, of course I'm gonna die without even trying. Alright. Wasn't that great? Let me turn this up. Okay, sorry guys, but Chivalry is not in the books for now. 500 ping, unplayable. I will see you hopefully later this evening. If not, Wondrous Wednesday awaits. I'm sorry, but we will pick it up, and it will be better. Catch you soon. I'll be back. We'll see. A fun, Lovecraft too. Wondrous Wednesday awaits.